This is Pro Wrestling.me video podcast LK here with a special edition of LK's WWE RoadBlock preview slash however you're watching that prediction. And I'm going to be giving you my thoughts and opinion on the upcoming WWE RoadBlock show that will be taking place Saturday night from Toronto, Ontario, Canada, 8 p.m-7 Central. I think that's how Americans' toilets call it. Can you please put in the comments section below? I'm an imbecile. I'm a Nimrod, okay? Does the time in Canada match the time in America? Can someone please tell me that that's the case? Because I'm literally sat there and I'm thinking, oh my God, is the time difference going to be insane? Like, it really does. Like, is it going to be 2 a.m. start? Is it going to be a 1 a.m. start for me? I could be an unlazy prick and go on the WWE Network schedule that the UK has, but that takes time, that takes effort. So if one of you guys can please put in the comments below, will the WWE show RoadBlock air at the normal time that you watch in America Monday Night Raw? Because then to me that makes it 1 a.m. If it's later than when it normally is, then I have to stay up even later. But again, I'm doing this RoadBlock preview because I've been sleeping like a normal human being. I'm gonna call a spade a spade. I've been ill like shit. I've been coughing my guts up. I've had the man flu. I've been sleeping like a normal human being. I've been going to bed at 11 p.m. when I get home from work. I've been waking up at 8 a.m. Then I'm going to work like a normal fucking human being. Right now it's 1:30 a.m. I'm back on the grind. I'm back on the hustle. I just did a VIP show. Make sure you check out VIP, links in the description. I don't want to plug that too much. Where I did a mini Raw review and Daily Dirt, which is where I break down the news, gossip, rumors, TV ratings, results when it pertains to pro wrestling - sports entertainment. And now I'm on here on KocoSports, Pro Wrestling.me's YouTube channel, and I'm giving you my preview and prediction for the show. And before, also, we have a little bit of breaking news. Well, it's kind of not breaking news, but we have WrestleMania 33 announced for Orlando, Florida, in the Citrus Bowl, where WrestleMania 24 took place. That was my first. I'm going. And I'm 100% going, okay? I'm 1,000% going. I'm going to get a travel package. I live in England, so I'm going to get a travel package, and I'm 1,000% promise you I'm going to this event. It's a fact, okay? And what scares me is my first ever live WrestleMania pay-per-view was WrestleMania 24. That's a shoot. I watched around my cousin's house. I was 12 years old, okay? That was my first ever live pay-per-view Mania. My first ever live pay-per-view was No Way Out 2008 round my cousins again. Because at the time, you got to understand, in England, to watch a pay-per-view live, to watch an episode of Monday Night Raw live, you have to stay up till 1 a.m. to 4 a.m. A 10-year-old should not be doing that. A 9-year-old should not be doing that. An 8-year-old should not be doing that. 19-year-old shouldn't be doing that. But I am, because that's what I love to do. But I digress. So that was my first ever live pay-per-view. Live WrestleMania was WrestleMania 24 in the Citrus Bowl. 8 years later, nearly 9 years later, I'll be in that stadium itself, and I'm fucking pumped to go. So there's a little bit of breaking news for you. Also, the TV ratings were in today, and they weren't very good for Monday Night Raw. A 500,000 gap from hour 1 to hour 3. That means 500,000 people decided, you know what, it's not worth my time to continue watching. But looking at it from a standpoint of television, isn't surely a 3-hour weekly episodic television show just too long? Like, I don't care how great your content is. You could have 5-star match, 5-star segment, 5-star match, 5-star segment, 5-star match, 5-star segment. But if this 3 hours, you're gonna lose people's attention. Just calling a spade, there's no way a human being can sit there for 3 hours without getting distracted by their phone, their console, their fucking dick. I don't know. There's no way that you can sit there for 3 hours. We worked out on the VIP. In 2 months' time, if you watch every minute of Monday Night Raw, you sit through 24 hours of Monday Night Raw. 24 hours of your life. So that means in a year, you've given up 6 days. A whole, if they go 15 minutes overtime, which they always do, you've given up a whole week of your life. You spend 7 days of that 365 days of that year, you spend 7 of that days watching Monday Night Raw, which means you only have 358 days to enjoy yourself. That, my friends, is what I call torture. But enough of that bullshit, enough of that shenanigans. I've already talked about that into great detail. match card now for RoadBlock. I'm gonna give you the match card, then I'm gonna break it down. Make sure you put in the comments what your opinion is on this show. And I'm gonna get very interactive with you guys, so please make sure you put in the comments maybe some questions that I can dissect into. So you have the NXT Tag Team Championships on the line. As you have the Revival, which is Dash and Dawson. They'll be defending against Enzo Amore and Colin Cassidy because they can. WWE Tag Team Championship match. The New Day will be defending against. And by the way, the New Day versus Y2AJ was match of the night and was absolutely magnificent. Versus the League of Nations, and the team that will be representing the League of Nations was confirmed on WWE.com. Sheamus and King Barrett. Brock Lesnar versus Bray Wyatt, and then in the main event, as you guys obviously know, Triple H defending the WWE Championship against Dean Ambrose. Very good stuff. Breaking this down a little bit, but I'm going to go match by match. I'm going to check the live comments after every single one. The NXT Tag Team title match. What have they done to build towards this? Nothing. I was honestly heading into this Monday Night Raw. I was expecting a warm-up match where maybe Amore and Colin Cassidy would defeat the Ascension, or we were going to get the Revival on Monday Night Raw defeating the Los Matadores to show the world this is what these guys are. These guys will be wrestling this Saturday on the WWE Network. You can also plug NXT every single Wednesday. These guys will be wrestling on the WWE Network this Saturday. That's what I thought they would be doing, but they didn't. They didn't promote it at all, and I was very concerned. And I don't, for some reason, I say this so much on every show I'm a part of when it pertains to the NXT anyway. Enzo Amore and Colin Cassidy should never, ever, ever, ever win the NXT tag titles. Hear me out. They should never, ever win the tag titles. Their first championship should be the WWE Tag Team Championships, and it should be at WrestleMania. You can have the ideal story of they can't win the big one. They can't win the big one. They can't. They try. They have so many chances. They just can't. Remember the story of Chris Benoit. Okay, not the murderer. Chris Benoit, the worker. Remember the story of Royal Rumble 2003. He just couldn't win the big one. He had championship match after championship match. It came close after getting screwed. Then finally at Rumble 04, he won the big one. He won the Rumble. And then he went on to WrestleMania to win the World Heavyweight Championship. An absolute classic triple threat match against Triple H and Shawn Michaels, which if you have the network, please go out of your way to watch. And the commentary was incredible. The work rate was incredible. The storytelling was incredible. The psychology was incredible. Everything about that match was incredible. And this, my friends, is going to sidetrack into the main event of Triple H versus Dean Ambrose. Statistically, Triple H is winning this. Hear me out. Okay, so I was telling this story earlier on. WrestleMania 18, Jericho, the heel, entering as the champion. Triple H, the babyface, returning from the quad injury, the babyface challenger. WrestleMania 19, Kurt Angle, the heel champion, versus the babyface challenger of Brock Lesnar. WrestleMania 20, babyface challenger Chris Benoit, champion Kurt Angle. WrestleMania 21, heel champion Triple H, babyface challenger Batista, JBL, John Cena. WrestleMania 22, heel champion Kurt Angle, babyface challenger Rey Mysterio. WrestleMania 23, WrestleMania 24, Randy Orton is your heel, Edge is your heel. WrestleMania 26, Batista is your heel. WrestleMania 27, you've got Miz as your heel champion. WrestleMania 29, you had fucking Berto Del Rio, he's babyface. So 30, Randy Orton is your heel champion. 31, Brock Lesnar at the time, heel champion. Statistically, heels enter champions, babyface enters challenger, that babyface become a star. And if I was booking the WWE, this is how I would book the programming. Every summer, I would pick that one guy. That one guy, I would pick, that's the guy. He's selling the most merchandise. He's connected to the crowd. He's the most over. He's the guy. In the summer, I pick him. I protect him. He wins the Rumble. He goes on, the babyface challenger. He defeats the heel champion at WrestleMania. He then becomes a star. He becomes a megastar and sells a stupid amount of merchandise. In the summer, that megastar, that ridiculous world champion, that babyface turns heel. In that process, while you're turning that guy heel, you pick the next star who you will protect. He will then become a big babyface. You protect him. He wins the Rumble. That man now, the number one babyface, who's now selling lots of merchandise, will face the heel that was the babyface last year at WrestleMania. The cycle goes on and on and on. It never stops. It never, ever, ever stops. And you create star after star after star. You make more money after more money after more money. Instead, what are they doing? What are they doing? They're going out there and they're going, you've got big muscles. That's cute. You could be my number one guy. You can be my WWE Heavyweight Champion. Why? Are you good in the ring? No. Can you cut a promo? No. He's related to The Rock. He's got muscles. He's tanned. He has long hair. You're my man. That's my man. Everyone watching around the world, believe that. I believe in you, Roman. Fucking joke. What a joke. Absolute imbecilic sack of shit. That's what would happen if I was booking. I digress. Let's get to some live comments. I'm going very off topic here, but I'm enjoying myself. We've got 1 like, 0 dislikes. That's what I'm talking about. Andy Paps, what's up, LK? The last Mania I went to was WrestleMania 20 at Madison Square Garden. And that was your first. Yeah. Oh, dude, that was such a great Mania. Like, I just remember it being such a good Mania. There was some bad things on that show. Like, the 4-way tag title matches was just to get people in. If I remember rightly, though, that Mania was far too long. I am Mikey. Laughed my ass off. That breakdown of 3 hours of Raw shit was too funny. Dude, it's so real. That's from I am Mikey Mash. Andy Paps said that he's been to 2 Manias, 20 and 29. I've never been to, obviously in England, I've never been to a WrestleMania, but I'm definitely going to WrestleMania 33, and I'm really looking forward to it, and it's going to be a good time. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go there for the week, maybe 2 weeks. I might go for a week as a wrestling venture. Like, that week will be dedicated to pro wrestling, and then the week after, spend time with family or girlfriend or whatever. That's what I'll do. That's what I'm looking forward to. That week of just pro wrestling. I want to go to Evolve. I've been covering Evolve on this site for a very long time. I want to go to Ring of Honor. Been covering Ring of Honor on this site for a long time. I want to go to the Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania for that atmosphere. Obviously, WrestleMania. I wouldn't go to the Hall of Fame because I just couldn't picture just sitting there listening when I could be at a wrestling show. Like, I don't mean to sound horrible. That's what I would do. And I'm going to keep the comments coming. I'm definitely going to read every single one of them. We have the WWE Tag Team titles on New Day defending against the League of Nations, which is Sheamus and King Barrett. I think they might switch. I think this is the championship that could switch. The New Day don't need this. They don't need the belt. And guessing, because what they always seem to do, they always go for multi-team matches at WrestleMania. We just talked about that at WrestleMania 20. Last year as well, they did the 4-way tag team match to kick off on the kickoff. I think we're going to get New Day, League of Nations, Usos, Dudleys. 4-way elimination match. That's the match I'm expecting at WrestleMania. So I think they're going to switch here. League of Nations as your champs. The New Day don't need the belts. They're already over as fuck, and that's a fact. Okay, the League of Nations, they need some solidarity. They've been on a losing streak a lot, but the past few weeks they've been protected. So, they got the win over Ziggler, 3-on-1, but they still got that win. So, that earned them the championship. This is, okay, if I'm going in kayfabe wise, okay, this is how I'm seeing this. The League of Nations did the dirty work for Triple H and Stephanie McMahon on this week's Raw. They did the dirty work for Stephanie McMahon. Now that they're getting rewarded for that. Did they tell this story on television? No. Why? Because they're morons and they can't write a weekly episodic television show. That being said, Raw was actually a strong tie -week win this week. I was not on the Raw review, as I said earlier on this show, because of just sickness, and I'm on normal sleeping hours. So tonight I'm on the grind. It's 1:41 a.m. It's absolutely ridiculously late. I feel like my eyes are going to explode out my fucking eye socket, but I'm going to go because I want to get back to where I was, where I could do a podcast every night without feeling tired. That's what I'm on. So I'm on fucking Monster Can number 785, and I got my cup of tea here with me as well, but I need to refill that up. But anyway, back to RoadBlock. I honestly do think League of Nations will get the win. And by the way, RoadBlock is such a silly name. You had Fastlane. We're on the fast lane to WrestleMania, but before we can get there, there's a roadblock. Like, I could picture Vince saying that, and all the writers like, oh my God, Vince, that's so great. Like, literally, Vince, you are the best. You're such a creative genius, Vince. You're so genius. I wish I was like you. When I wake up in bed, I think about you. All right, kid, enough sucking my cock. What's Roman Reigns doing tonight? Roman Reigns isn't here tonight. Well, I'm going home then. We got some Vinny Delochev. LK, do you like the name Roadblock? I believe it's a cool pay-per-view network special name. You see, marketing-wise, as a business, I think the name makes sense. Like I just mentioned there, like it's the Roadblock, the last stop to the road to WrestleMania. Like that makes sense. But when you look back, I mean, No Way Out, Armageddon, No Mercy, Unforgiven. Like there were pay-per-view names that were like, holy shit, like I want to see, this is going to be brutal. Roadblock. Like there's such a huge difference. Like try Roadblock. Like that doesn't even sound great. Or, you know, it's just, I don't know. It's just, I've been brought up on like hardcore pay-per-view names. And now we're getting sissy pay-per-view names. And it's really confusing. Is anyone going to watch Kurt Angle's last TNA match tonight? Yes, I'll be watching it and reviewing it for VIP. Link in description. Andy Paps, I hope Roadblock replaces Fastlane next year. The name doesn't really matter. The reason they're doing this pay-per-view, by the way, is because basically what they want to do is they're doing this 3-month gimmick. So basically, if you subscribe to Roadblock, that will have you covered for WrestleMania just in time for the payment cutoff. So if you don't cancel your WWE Network a few days after WrestleMania, they're going to charge you the $9.99. That's how these money-grabbing son of a bitches work, and it's fucking genius. This is from Iron Mikey Mike Cashman. They can and have no excuse to produce the most untouchable pro wrestling product, but they are fucking lazy and out of touch with the modern world. They keep trying to run away from what they truly are, pro wrestling. The fuck they keep mentioning current events during times they need to call the match. Yeah, and the thing is, they call themselves worldwide companies, but for instance, as a guy who doesn't follow basketball or American football or anything, I occasionally touch on the American football. At the start of every season, I'm like, this is the season I'm going to get into it. I watch the first couple of weeks, then I get bored of it. So they come out here, they cut heel promos on the towns. Like, for instance, Chicago. Name off the top of my head, the Chicago Bears. They'll cut a heel promo on Chicago Bears. I'm there like, I don't know these people. You're a worldwide company and I don't know these people. And JBL on commentary always brings up, like UFC fighters. I don't know these UFC fighters. He brings up, like, fucking people from the 1980s. I don't know those people, so the reference means nothing to me, which means you're not enhancing the match as a story, which is your fucking job. Like, yes, I completely agree. The Jangles clan, the pain of Roman's failed push as a face will end when Rollins comes back, and then it will be worth it. Yeah, Reigns needs to go heel. I think a great 2-year run as a heel to then turn babyface could be great. It's well needed. Andy Paps then puts the League of Nations are the muscle for the authority. Yeah, so kayfabe-wise, they are being rewarded for being with the authority because the main event of Ambrose versus Triple H, the whole gimmick of it is anti-authority. So it kind of makes sense. I just wish they told you that on the show. I am Mikey. They have the damn near best roster in the world. There is no excuse for the constant shit, especially building towards WrestleMania. Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, this road to WrestleMania has been pretty weak, but I did enjoy this week's show. I'm not saying it was a great show. It was an okay show. There's some good stuff in there. I loved the tag team title match. I love Kevin Owens Neville. I enjoyed how personal Shane McMahon and Vince McMahon gimmicks become. I loved the tease of the Undertaker's gong. I thought that was incredible heel heat. I enjoyed Ambrose Bray Wyatt. I enjoyed Ambrose getting the upper hand because it makes you think, what if? What if Ambrose actually does win that championship? That transcends into the main event. Ambrose, Triple H, prediction. Triple H gets the win, beats on Ambrose. Roman Reigns makes the save. They do the stare down with the WrestleMania logo looming in the distance. They do the stare down. They have a big brawl. Reigns get the upper hand until Triple H low blow. The League of Nations come down. They beat on. And then they end Fastlane with Triple H, the League of Nations, standing over with the WWE World Heavyweight Championship and the WWE Tag Team Championships in the air to close the show. Heel heat, or they could have Dean Ambrose win and have the TV ratings for Monday. Boof, next Mondays would skyrocket if Ambrose won the championship. People will be tuning in because now they're thinking, not only has Dean Ambrose won the world title, not only has Triple H lost the world championship, but what does this mean for WrestleMania? Does this mean Dean Ambrose versus Brock will become for the WWE Championship, but Brock Lesnar's already faced Bray Wyatt at Roadblock, unless that match doesn't actually take place because of the disqualification, or if Brock Lesnar gets attacked by the Wyatt family during Brock Lesnar's entrance, or they kidnap Paul Heyman. That could be interesting. Heyman could be tied up. Brock Lesnar finds him and then boom, 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 boom. You're then developing the character and the connection between Brock and Heyman, which is already there even further, and it makes it more personal. Everyone loves a person. Obviously, the best feuds are obviously for the championships, but everyone loves a personal fight, especially at the biggest stage of WrestleMania. That's just my opinion anyway. Andy Papp says, so if Dean beats Triple H, who gets the world title match, Brock or Roman, or does H get his rematch? That's a great point, because Triple H would be entitled to his rematch. So then I'm guessing you could do Triple H versus Ambrose at the start of the night. Winner faces Roman Reigns in the main event. That way you could do Roman Reigns versus Triple H build up, as well as Roman Reigns versus Dean Ambrose build up. So in between, you could intertwine those rivalries as you play out through Raw and you play out through SmackDown, and that could lead to some twists and turns. You could tease the tension between Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns. So I honestly think the best route would be to have Dean Ambrose win. Dean Ambrose then defends against Triple H in his rematch in the opener of the night, and then in the main event you get Dean Ambrose versus Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns turns heel. He spears The Rock, goes out as the biggest booed son of a bitch in the history of WrestleMania. That's what I would do, period. But that's just me. That's awesome. WWE isn't in the business of being awesome, as Coco would say. Wyatt family versus Authority, yeah or nay? I don't know. I liked that. I did like that at the end of Monday Night Raw where they teased it. I'm going to be honest with you. I loved how he stroked the belt. It was like, okay, that's good. That's good. Little nuances like that are very good, because now they're sat there thinking, okay, is that a little teaser? Is that a little setup? I don't know. I honestly don't know. We got some more comments. Vinny Didachev. LK, would you like to see Conor McGregor appear on WTV or pay-per-view anytime? I have zero interest in the guy. I have zero interest in mixed martial arts at all. I'm going to be honest. I didn't mean to sound like a dick there, but I've tried so many times to sit there and get into UFC, to get into Bellator. I just can't. It bores the fuck out of me. I'm now like, okay. And I'm sat there thinking this is a work. Like, I think everything's a work. Like, it's so bad. I'm like, yeah, that's a work. NFL, that's a work. Soccer, fucking work. Like, everything is a work. Do any of you have that problem where you just think everything is a work? I sometimes have that problem. Lennox Watson, do you think we see Dean pulling double duty like Daniel Bryan and Dean winning the world championship? If so, does he beat Brock? No, yeah, like I just said, I think he should do Dean Ambrose versus Triple H at WrestleMania to kick off the night like Daniel Bryan did, and then in the main event, Roman Reigns defeat Dean Ambrose, because then Vince gets what he wants, but he has to sacrifice Reigns turning heel, spearing The Rock, special guest referee, and blah 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 blah. Honestly, what match is really making you pop the most for WrestleMania this year? Shane McMahon versus Taker. Like, nostalgia. Like, that's going to be fucking incredible. Like, just Taker's entrance at WrestleMania, Shane McMahon in probably his last wrestling match for a while. That's special. Jericho AJ could be incredible. Andy Paps put, I would book the Wyatt family like Ministry of Darkness, have them feud with Shane. That's a good idea. But I think they would really have to go dark. Lennox was, but do you think Shane will really bring in a new era? Will he come through on his promises of no golden boys, or is WWE just trying to be topical because it's elections? Oh, dude, don't believe that bullshit. Like, there is no way he's getting in charge. He has no power. He has no stroke. Just because Shane McMahon comes on TV and cuts a promo on it, which he was given, and says, I'm going to change the WWE, that's bullshit. He is not changing a thing. Would you rather see a multi-man match for IC or US title? I want Kevin Owens versus Zayn, so I would say the US title. Mike Cashman puts, I'll be honest, this past week's Raw build to WrestleMania is pretty dope. They're finally adding hype and story progression. However, I hate the fact that we have the second thought that they're going to fuck it up. No, I like this. This is a roadblock, and it's an interesting one. Because if Ambrose has to do double duty, if Triple H then defeats Dean Ambrose, where does Dean Ambrose go after losing to Triple H? Does Brock Lesnar then interfere in the main event? Does Brock Lesnar cost Dean Ambrose the WWE World Championship? But then what does Bray Wyatt do at WrestleMania? It creates questions. Questions means you can book yourself out of a corner and into many corners. That is the best way to book a show. When you have so many options like this, you should create gold, but they'll create horseshit. Andy Pat's put, I'm looking forward to the Wolves versus Beer Money and Kurt versus Lashley. I didn't realize it was the Wolves versus Beer Money. I'm definitely going to give that a watch, 100%. I'm actually kind of looking forward to Impact tonight. Again, I'll do a review for that for the VIPs. Links in the description. Mike Ashman, Shane is supposed to be playing only an on-air character. However, I really think Shane needs to fully take on Krav. I kind of feel this past Raw has Shane input in it. No, this isn't. It's just they're in Chicago. They know Chicago's going to shit on it if it's a shit Raw, so they actually put on a good Raw. They actually try. With Nashville last week, they didn't try because Nashville, who gives a fuck? Because they don't want to be embarrassed. They don't want to be shat upon, and that makes sense as a company, but they're a bit idiotic. Owens and Zayn are going to steal the show. Yes, that's going to be incredible. I hope that doesn't become a Mighty Man match. Lennox, I have the problem where I think everything is a work, but most things are a work, especially when there's a lot of money in line. I completely fucking agree. Rey Mysterio, how would you book Shane versus Taker? Yeah, that's a difficult one. If it was me, I would honestly, I would have. It depends. If I'm going down the route of a brand extension, I'm having shit. It's so hard, in my opinion, to book this without knowing A, is Shane McMahon going to be available for the future? B, will fucking take the loss to a non-wrestler? C, how far are these guys willing to go? Is Shane? The story of the match, I hope, is what crazy bump is Shane going to take? That's what worries me. That's what I'm expecting. What crazy bump? I hope the story is Shane's scared. Shane's running for his life. Taker keeps getting him, makes him a bloody pulp. Vince then realizes, oh, fuck, what have I done? Blah, 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 blah. Rest is history, and you can work your way from there. But if they have the brand extension, they bring up guys from NXT, and they make SmackDown the sports show. You have the IC title as the main championship on SmackDown. You have Dolph Ziggler, Kevin Owens, Neville, Seth Rollins when he comes back, Dean Ambrose, all the great workers, Luke Harper. They go after that IC title on SmackDown. They can still be involved in the main storylines on Monday Night Raw. Like, Shane never said he wants control of WWE. He said he wants control of Monday Night Raw. Triple H and Stephanie can say, we still have, ownership rights in the WWE. You can't just strip us of that. We're going to have SmackDown. That's going to be the sports show. I think they should do that. Make that IC title. Like Daniel Bryan last year, he said he wants SmackDown to be all about the IC title. They could do that. They could so do that, and it could be absolutely incredible, especially with the commentary now, and it just feels more of a sporty show when you watch it. Rey Mysterio, how would you debut the Bulletproof? Oh, night after WrestleMania. There you go. I don't know if they're going to be heel, if they're babyface, who they're going after. I don't know. It depends on if they're heel or babyface. Really does. I just joined LK. Give me a brief review. Basically, I've basically talked about how statistically Triple H will win because the heel enters the champion, the babyface enters the challenger to try and create the stars. But because Roman Reigns isn't over, it makes it a lot different, and the ball game's a lot different, as JBL would say. Instead of seeing sporting events as a work, it's fun to see how everything is manipulated to help on the side to gain momentum. Floyd Mayweather has made a career of it. Yeah. I don't follow boxing, but I know that guy's a sumbitch. Rey Mysterio, LK, we missed you yesterday on the Raw review. Yeah, I said at the start of the show that basically I've been sleeping like a normal human being, but now I'm back, and it's 1:56 a.m. of this recording, so I'm trying to do the grind tonight so that makes it easier in the future. Should Zayn be Owens? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, he'll be a great. If brand split happened, name the top 5 stars of both Raw and SmackDown. So if Raw is going to be the sports entertainment show, so you'd have Roman Reigns over, you'd have Dean Ambrose because he's not really like, I just see Dean Ambrose in that light. You'd have Triple H, John Cena. Who else? You got New Day, Bray Wyatt, and then on SmackDown you'd have Kevin Owens. I'd make big. Sami Zayn, big. Dolph Ziggler, big. Yeah. League of Nations, no, fuck off. Who else have you got? It's so hard to think of their roster right now. It's not that big. I'd have Cesaro when he comes back, Seth Rollins when he comes back. I would say Daniel Bryan, but the fucker retired, the bastard. Really fucked me over there. Which current WWE wrestler would make a good president? Isn't Rhino going for some election or some of that? Like, I saw he was going for a Detroit. I don't know, but I was like, what the fuck? Doesn't matter if Taker loses. His streak is done. Yeah, but do you think Taker wants to lose in his home state? Like, if Taker's defeated Shawn Michaels twice, Triple H twice, 3 times, and he loses to Shane McMahon. Do you want a brand extension? Because people don't like it. I do. I do. I love it when Raw and SmackDown are completely different. Because then when Raw it sucks one week, I'm like, okay, I got SmackDown to look forward to. Vice versa, and it's different. Raw versus SmackDown. Oh, bragging rights, yeah. But fun little fact for you: bragging rights 2010 is the lowest pay-per-view buys pre-WWE Network era. That's a little fun fact. What would be the Bulletproof first feud? That's. I wouldn't mind seeing Bulletproof versus the Wyatt family. Like the Wyatt family, who do you think you are coming over and taking over our land? Who do you think you are? Who is the Bulletproof? Like, yeah, it could be cool. I'm not really fussed, but like that's difficult to me. Booking factions is difficult. 6 likes, 0 dislikes. Thank you very much. Rey Mysterio TNA review or not? Again, reviewing it for VIP. Impact Stars in 4 minutes here on the East Coast. Hope everyone enjoys it. I'll be watching it on a legal website tomorrow. I don't want SD Smackdown to be just mid-carders, though. I want stars. Yes, but if it's the wrestling show, then the IC title will be the main. It will make stars, okay? It will make stars. Then when you do the draft, then those stars in the IC title, it will work. Trust me, believe me. Do you think the brand split is feasible? There are more divas signed now than during the original draft. I think it is, and it would give the wrestlers so much more time. Like the social outcasts, it will give them so much more time to develop character, to develop storylines where you normally wouldn't give them storylines. Obviously, if Shane wins, it would be if somebody helps him. That's why it won't affect Taker. Yeah, but what if they do like, you know them, they're fucking booking dodgy roll up. Like honestly, that does. It does. What do you think of Raw and the Y2J heel turn? I didn't mind Raw. Weak tie, a strong tie week win. I enjoyed it. Again, I did a mini Raw review earlier on for the VIP. I hate to keep promoting it, but it's where my stuff is at the minute. Because I need to get content on there for people to sign up. It's the way it works. But what I didn't like is like how they tried to swerve you. They tried to swerve you so much. They even brought out merchandise. What happened? Okay, I live in England. Okay, so I went on Euroshop on Sunday. I'm like, okay, I want to support Y2AJ. They're gonna have a good few months as a tag team because they got shirts out. I bought that shirt on Sunday. I didn't actually, but just say I did. And it's going to come on the post on Wednesday. They've split up. What do I do now? I just spent £25. What the fuck? That's the only issue I have with it. Literally, that's the only issue I have. But I enjoyed it. Jericho AJ 4. Okay, but put something on the line. Maybe Jericho's career. Or fucking AJ's hair. I don't fucking know. Just give me something on the line. I don't want a wrestling match for wrestling's sake. Put something on the line. And Jericho as a heel with that smile is fucking out of this world. Bulletproof helps Shane. Great shout. Great shout. You should do a brand split video. Talk about the pros and cons and maybe even do a mock draft. Lennox Whitson, that is a fucking great shout. I'm going to write that down so I fucking do it. That is an absolute phenomenal shout. And that is one that I'll be doing in the future, because that sounds like a great idea. That is a great idea there. That is top draw. What's great about a live video podcast? Wow. Did you like the crowd chanting now on CM Punk and Vince? Yeah, that's entertaining. Not Node Out Coward. Is there a stream of TNA? Haven't watched in years. Yeah, there's probably a stream, I guess, somewhere out there, but I didn't like watching shows live on a stream because it's always dodgy quality, whereas you wait for the next day, you always get a HD quality. And sometimes, you know, as a reviewer, I like to take time with a show because I take notes. Like, so for example, Impact. Jesus H. Christ, that would take me 4 sittings. Okay, honestly, it does take me 4 sittings. Nodi, I imagine it's gone to hell now. No, it's not. It's not. I think it's a good show. Honest opinion, TNA is a good show. Good sports entertainment show. Is it the alternative to WWE? No. Is it the alternative of pro wrestling? No. It's a good sports entertainment wrestling show. Will you do an NXT review, Rey Mysterio? Yes. but I'll be back Wednesday with NXT review of Booms. I just took 2 weeks off because I was sick as fuck. Like, on this show alone, I was coughing my guts up earlier. It's just, I was ill as fuck. I very rarely get ill. And when I do get ill, I'm an absolute pansy. And that's being said. That's it for live comments. Thank you so much for joining in on the live comments. Thank you for everyone. Thank you if you've left comments after the show. Make sure you head over to pressing.me. Make sure you head over to KocoSports.net. That's KocoSports.net, where it goes to Kakashi and become a sports above all, where it's okay to be a passionate fan. Hopefully, RoadBlock's bookings in our favors. LK VIP, link in the description. There'll be an Impact review. I did Daily Dirt and a Raw review today. Also did this show, so I'm rocking and running with the podcast. I'm back full time again. Apologies about my illness. Apologies about everything, but I'm happy Bill Hoss. This was the greatest 2 weeks of Bill Hossball's life. I think that's how you say the guy's name. He was very happy on all the shows that I wasn't there. So this show was dedicated to Bill Hossball, my biggest fan. Thank you, Bill, from the bottom of this English heart. That being said, like, comment, subscribe. I've plugged everything under the sun. Twitter at LK Wrestling. I'll follow you back as long as you don't fucking bombard me with fucking porn questions. Right, I'm standing. Thank you, live commenters. It's been a pleasure. I'm glad to be back. KocoSports.net, pressing.me. Like, comment, subscribe. Stay safe, stay well. Have a great Wednesday. I'll be back with an NXT review with hopefully Booms tomorrow, and then a Lucha Underground review the day after that. So that being said, thank you very much. Stay safe, stay well. This has been LK, and I'll catch your asses down the line.